Today's news highlights. Date January 30th, 2025. News highlights. Kong Kong hosted a variety show to take over Bai Bingbing's show, and the two were compared by the outside world. He admitted that he was under great pressure at the time. When signing the contract, the TV station required a ratings rating of 0.8, otherwise it would be suspended. After competing on the show, he and Bai Bingbing no longer contacted each other, but they still regarded each other as their seniors. Kong Kong emphasized that he did not fight deliberately, but was forced by the environment. In order to adapt to the new program style, he adjusted his hosting method, followed the suggestions of the production unit, gradually adapted and achieved good results. News highlights. K. Wens was prosecuted for his involvement in the Jinghua City scandal and his detention was extended for 3 months, which attracted attention. The Kuomintang party stressed that there was no risk of KO fleeing or destroying his evidence, and fully supported the protest. Gao Honggan was sentenced to 7 years in April for fraudulently claiming assistant fees. After being suspended, he appealed. The High Court ruled to stop the trial and requested an interpretation of the Constitution. Yulan County Magistrate Lin Zimiao was sentenced to 12.5 years in prison and suspended from office for corruption. Her application to revoke the suspension was rejected. Former Dawin Mayor Zheng Wenqin was involved in a corruption case. The lawyer's request to postpone the trial for 4.5 months was rejected. The trial will be resumed on February 24th. News highlights. The United States plans to tighten restrictions on China's AI development and plans to ban the export of Huawei H20 chips in response to DeepSeek's use of American technology to develop AI models. Lutnick, the Quasi-Commerce Secretary, supported Trump's tariff increase and emphasized that the United States must protect itself and curb the rise of China's technology. Huawei said it would cooperate with U.S. government policies. The Trump administration may further review export controls to plug loopholes that allow China to compete with U.S. technology. News highlights. British Skytrax announced the world's top 10 gourmet airports in 2025. The first place is Istanbul Airport, which provides authentic Turkish cuisine. Singapore Changi Airport and Seoul Incheon Airport ranked 2nd and 3rd respectively, covering a variety of dishes such as Hainanese chicken rice and Korean barbecue. Tokyo Haneda Airport has more than 20 ramen shops, and Munich Airport has the only airport brewery in Europe. Atlanta, Houston, and Dallas airports in the United States offer southern fried chicken, Mexican seafood and Texas barbecue. These airports allow passengers to enjoy the food and culture of various places while waiting for their flights. News highlights. Korean cheerleading goddess Lee Sejun has officially joined Fubon Angels, a secondary school team. It is reported that the signing bonus is as high as $300,000, approximately $10 million, surpassing the highest player signing bonus in the history of secondary school. The breaking news came from a first-level verbal technician of the fan college, which sparked heated discussions. Netizens believe that given Lee Sejun's high popularity in traffic, this investment is extremely valuable, and one even left a message saying that the traffic alone can pay back the investment in 1 year. Her joining will undoubtedly bring new impact and attention to the secondary vocational cheerleading market. News highlights. Su Mensch and Zhao Menzi have been married for 5 years and maintain their relationship through weekly acupuncture and dating. Su Mensch was injured in the Hunger Games, which resulted in a herniated disc and required long-term rehabilitation. Even holding a child became a challenge. Recently, he played the role of Blessed in the new drama The Train Comes and Goes, showing the charm of the simple character. 5566 has been in the army for 23 years. The members have a good rapport and even their concert styles need to be coordinated. Trains Come and Go will premiere on February 2, 2025, and fans can look forward to his new performance. News highlights. 26-year-old mainland actress Zhao Lucy suffered from aphasia and temporary deafness late last year, and revealed that she had been domestically abused by her former boss, which shocked the entertainment industry. After more than a month of recuperation, she officially returned to work and shared her fight against the disease on Weibo, emphasizing that depression is a long-term battle. With the belief of getting better slowly, she has greatly improved her condition through stable endorphin treatment, which she regards as a gift to her fans in 2025. She also called on society to pay attention to mental health, hoping that the outside world would understand patients with depression and learn tolerance and self-acceptance. News highlights. Liu Shishi and Wu Qilong once again sparked rumors of marriage change. Although the two have clarified many times, they recently shared their Lunar New Year activities on social media, which showed that they did not celebrate the New Year in the same place. Liu Shishi is in Heilongjiang filming a new drama, while Wu Qilong returned to Taiwan to spend New Year's Eve dinner with his family. This Chinese New Year celebration in another place once again triggered speculation about the status of their marriage. The two have been married for 10 years, but they have been busy in recent years, spending less time together and more time away from each other, making people concerned about whether there are cracks in their relationship. News highlights. Actress Lu Yura announced her pregnancy on the first day of the new year and shared her pregnancy photos with her boyfriend Hu Kaixiang. However, she had previously posted on social media that she hated other people's pregnancy, which caused netizens to question whether it was hype. In response, Lu Yura responded, "Is it necessary?" and clarified that pregnancy is not a hype. She emphasized that she has a deep love for children and said that she would let nature take its course. Her relationship with Hu Kaixiang was stable, and she was not in a hurry to get married or have any plans. News highlights. Today, the second day of the Lunar New Year, was affected by radiation cooling, and the temperature was cold. The lowest temperature in Mili reached 4.8 degrees. The cold air will gradually weaken today and tomorrow, and the weather will warm up. Tomorrow, mid-level clouds will move northward, with cloudy weather in the western half and some brief rain in the east. The temperature difference at night is large, ranging from 8 to 25 degrees in the north, 7 to 25 degrees in the center and 9 to 26 degrees in the south. It was still warm after the mid-level clouds passed on February 1st, but a front hit on February 2nd and the temperature dropped slightly. 2 waves of strong cold air will move south next Monday, the temperature will drop sharply, and a cold wave is expected. News highlights. The 39-year-old actor Wei Yi once became popular in The Adventure King. In recent years, he lost control of his weight due to endocrine disorders and hypothyroidism. He once exceeded 100 kilograms. Netizens ridiculed him for his low self-esteem. In fact, He has worked hard to lose weight and successfully lost 20 kilograms last year. He thanked Wu Shenru for his advice and adjusted his drinking habits to help lose weight. He is still keeping his weight under control and emphasized that he did not gain weight due to overeating, but was caused by disease. News highlights: actress Zhang Wanting recently accepted an exclusive interview with TVBS News Network with Guan Lin, revealing that she is not looking forward to the Chinese New Year because she has to give red envelopes to relatives and friends every year, and plans to put her work on hold and study abroad to replenish her energy. She also shared her joy during the filming of Secretary Club, especially working with Lai Yan and Wang Zhuangyi, and described the atmosphere on the set as relaxed and happy. Zhang Wanting emphasized that after 27 years of acting career, she hopes to put the focus of life back on herself and looks forward to meeting a spiritually connected partner. News highlights: after a magnitude 6.4 earthquake occurred in Dapu, Chi on January 21st, although the earthquake frequency dropped slightly, another earthquake with a magnitude of 5.6 occurred at 10:11 this morning. The focal depth was only 10 kilometers, and the maximum intensity around the epicenter reached 5. Magnitude 4.3 aftershock. The Central Meteorological Administration stated that these earthquakes were within the aftershock range of the Taipo earthquake, and larger-scale aftershocks may still occur in the next 2 weeks. News highlights: people familiar with the matter revealed that the Trump administration is studying to strengthen restrictions on Nvidia's sales to China, and may include H20 chips within the scope of restrictions. Designed specifically for the Chinese market, the chip has 1/5 the performance of the H100 and is designed to meet U.S. export restrictions. If restrictions are tightened, it will further damage Nvidia's market revenue in China and intensify tensions between the United States and China. Nvidia expressed its willingness to cooperate with the government, and this news caused Nvidia's share price to fall by 6.9%. At the same time, the AI model of Chinese startup DeepSeek caused a shock in the market, prompting U.S. companies to step up scrutiny. News highlights: DeepSeek, a new Chinese AI startup, has caused controversy, mainly because it is suspected of misappropriating data and modules from OpenAI and Microsoft, and there are security concerns. Democratic Progressive Party legislator Wang Dingyu raised 6 major issues, including concerns that DeepSeek has low development costs but relies on Nvidia's high-performance network, is suspected of stealing data, and transmits information to the Chinese backend. In addition, the U.S. Navy has banned DeepSeek and is expected to remove the product from its shelves. Wang Dingyu bluntly said that DeepSeek is a little man standing on the shoulders of giants and brings political and technical challenges to the development of AI. News highlights: a major aviation accident occurred near the Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C., on the 30th. An American Airlines passenger plane with 60 people on board collided with a Black Hawk helicopter on duty and then crashed into the Potomac River. The accident was initially misreported as a small plane accident, but was later corrected as a collision between a passenger plane and a helicopter, and has been classified as a major casualty incident. The local airport has been closed and all flights suspended. The moment of impact was captured on a monitor, and the scene shocked netizens, who were full of concern about the cause of the incident and the survivors. News highlights: doubts are growing about Chinese startup DeepSeek. OpenAI accused DeepSeek of stealing its model for development and allegedly using distillation technology to imitate its AI model at a lower cost, which may violate OpenAI's terms of service. The industry also pointed out that DeepSeek possesses a large number of Nvidia H100 high-end chips, which challenges the U.S. export control policy. According to the report, DeepSeek bypassed restrictions to hoard chips. Its development costs may be much higher than the declared figure, and it may face stricter U.S. supervision in the future. News highlights: the 44-year-old actress Xiao Xian, Huang Yuxian, has recently become the focus of attention for returning to school and buying a house in Pingtung. She revealed that due to the nearly 4-hour commute from Hengchun to Pingtung every day, and the fact that music courses require a lot of practice, she decided to buy a house and settle down. She shared the decoration of her new home, emphasizing that she placed a large table by the window to create an open learning environment. Although most netizens sent blessings, some criticized her. She responded with a high EQ, "It's good to work hard to make money," and said she would continue to work hard and study happily. News highlights: on the first day of the Lunar New Year, the Nankunshan Daishan Temple in Baimen District, Tainan City, held its annual national fortune-telling event. The second fortune drawn was the 54th, with the poem, "One river, one mountain, who knows the road ahead is difficult. No matter how much one changes, it cannot be surpassed, right and wrong will never find peace." This poem was the same as the one drawn in 2017. CNA.com.tw. The temple, known as the main temple of Taiwan's kings, conducted the event according to traditional rituals. After drawing the second fortune, it was confirmed with 5 consecutive affirmative responses from the divination blocks, all within 20 minutes. The poem was interpreted as a lower-level fortune, suggesting that the country might face challenges in the near future, particularly due to international political and economic instability. However, the temple's general secretary, Ho Xianming, emphasized that the interpretation of the poem varies among individuals, and its meaning is not necessarily negative. He personally believes that while the country may face difficulties early in the year, there will be opportunities for improvement around mid-year, with potential positive changes by the end of the year. News highlights: the campaign to recall Li Yangzhou launched by the citizens group Rust Removal from Hong Kong and Lakes has exceeded 23,000 signatures, far exceeding the number required in the first phase. Li Yangzhou's pro-China stance and defense budget cuts have been strongly criticized. She is believed to have deviated from the core values of the Kuomintang and has lost her qualifications as a representative. The militia will accelerate the signing of the petition, with the goal of reaching 44,500 valid signatures, and call on voters to defend Taiwan's security and democratic values. News highlights: a fire broke out at the intersection of Songhai Road and Fujian Road in Central West District, Tainan City on the morning of the 29th. The cause of the fire may be related to a woman surnamed Lai, 22 years old, who was distracted by taking cold medicine and drove her car into a Chunghua Telecom electrical box. After the fire broke out in the electrical box, it spread to a helmet shop, a century-old rice cake shop and 2 residences. A total of 4 buildings were burnt down. Fortunately, no one was injured, but Lai Nu will face property losses. The police are investigating the cause of the fire and will handle it as a public danger crime. News highlights at 2:27 p.m. on New Year's Eve, 28th, a baby boy was found floating in the water in Shuizhen, Uyuki District, Taichung City. After being rescued by firefighters, it was confirmed that the baby was obviously dead, and the umbilical cord was still hanging on the body. It was suspected that he had just been born. There were no other adults at the scene. The police will further investigate the cause of the boy's drowning and the identity of his parents, and review the surveillance images to trace the relevant persons. News highlights on the eve of the Spring Festival, a gangland shooting incident occurred in Hsinchu. Liu Xianxi, the leader of the Third Ring Gang, was shot and killed by his own family, killing one person and injuring 5. After the incident, the 5 suspects fled to Japan and Thailand, but failed to receive financial aid. They finally voluntarily returned to Taiwan to surrender on the 29th. It is understood that the suspect stated that he had a personal grudge with Liu Xianxi, but the specific motive for the attack is still under investigation by the police. The police also suspect that the suspect's statement may be an attempt to shirk responsibility. News highlights Ao Chuan and his wife Fafa got married last year and bought a new house in Taichung. Later, it was reported on the internet that Ao Chuan did not pay the agency fee and also sued the builder, which triggered heated discussions among netizens. Previously, William also revealed that Ao Chuan gave a 3,600 yuan red envelope to his wedding and brought 2 people with him, which was in sharp contrast to Awei's 80,000 yuan gift. Regarding the revelation of the agency fee, Ao Chuan's wife Fafa clarified, "This content is not true, thank you." News highlights mainland actress Zhao Lucy recently shared her battle with depression on Weibo and called on everyone to look at emotions positively. Looking back on her illness, she said she didn't believe she was sick at first, but gradually understood the causes of depression and shared how she treated it by creating endorphins and stimulating serotonin. She emphasized that positive emotions are as important as negative emotions, and thanked her friends and supporters for their company and encouragement, saying that the recovery process during this period made her cherish the power of empathy even more. News highlights today, the second day of the Lunar New Year, another earthquake occurred in Dapo, Chi. At 10:11 a.m., an earthquake measuring 5.6 on the Richter scale occurred in Dapo Township, Chi County, with a focal depth of 10 kilometers. According to the analysis of the Meteorological Administration, the maximum earthquake intensity occurred in Dapo, Chi, reaching magnitude 5. The earthquake was also felt in other places such as Zhonghua, Yunlin, Kaohsiung, Tainan, and other places, with the maximum intensity of magnitude 4. The Meteorological Administration reminds that this earthquake is an aftershock of the 0121 type Ho earthquake. You still need to be vigilant in the coming week as large-scale aftershocks may occur. News highlights 79-year-old Ling Feng, a well-known host in the 1980s, settled in Chiang Mai, Thailand in recent years. In December 2024, he was shocked to have suffered a second stroke and needed help due to limited mobility on his left side. Ji Beiru, Secretary General of the Taiwan Quality Life Association, confirmed his condition but said that Ling Feng was recovering. Since August last year, Ling Feng has not updated social media due to his health condition. He disclosed his condition for the first time on New Year's Eve on the 28th of this month, saying that he was receiving careful treatment and calling on everyone to pay attention to physical care. He also expressed optimism that he would recover soon and see everyone again. News highlights on the first day of the Lunar New Year, the Yuking Palace in Mili held a national fortune lottery drawing ceremony, and the 53rd bottom lot of the People's Lot and the 45th middle lot of the 5-grain lot were drawn. The signed poem shows that the national destiny will face challenges in 2025, and the confrontation between political parties is still tense, but there may be a turn for the better in the second half of the year, and we must put aside disputes, negotiate, and cooperate. In terms of economy, the signed poem reminds the people to work sincerely and develop the foundation in a down-to-earth manner, and they will eventually gain something, indicating that the national destiny may gradually improve. News highlights toxicologist Yan Zonghai reminded that there are 3 major minefields in the common use of plastic wrap during the Chinese New Year, which may increase the risk of breast cancer. Plastic wrap is made of polyvinyl chloride, PVC, and polyethylene, PE. PVC material releases plasticizers at high temperatures. Long-term exposure can affect health, especially the risk of breast cancer in children and adults. When using plastic wrap, avoid contact with food, especially hot food or food that needs to be heated. Glass plastic wrap should be used to store leftovers to ensure food safety. News highlights Taipei 101 Chairman Jia Yongzhi recently broke the ice with her junior high school classmate Liu Ji at the homecoming party of Wang Weishong's eldest daughter. She said she was happier than meeting her male idol Xian Bin. Jia Yongzhi and Cao Nixon also exchanged words in the comment area, revealing that they did not like her because of her beauty and eloquence. Cao Nixon responded that she felt that the gap in the photo was too big because of her long legs. The humorous interaction between the two sparked heated discussions among netizens. Jia Yongzhi invited Cao Nixon to participate in the BI Women's event, but Cao Nixon was unable to attend because she was in the United States. News highlights a 63-year-old man surnamed Gu in Taitung was found dead by his family during the Chinese New Year. His body has been lying in state for more than half a year. Preliminary investigation revealed that the old man was usually taken care of by his nephew, who was suspected of having a mental disorder. After his nephew discovered his death, he was too afraid to call the police, which delayed the incident for more than half a year. The deceased was suspected to have died of illness, but his family did not discover it in time. It was not until the Chinese New Year that he accidentally discovered it and reported it to the police. The police have cordoned off the scene and are investigating the cause of death. News highlights today, the 30th, on the second day of the lunar month, an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.6 occurred in Taipu, Chi, with a maximum intensity of 5.0 and a focal depth of 10 kilometers. Disasters also occurred in downtown Tainan. A large area of the exterior wall of a red building on Fujian Road, Daji Street fell off, hitting parked vehicles. Stones were scattered on the site, and a blockade was set up. Another rockfall occurred at kilometer 69 of line 18. A small passenger car was hit, but no one was injured. The single line is now open to traffic. News highlights according to the BBC report, an American Airlines passenger plane collided with a helicopter and crashed into the Potomac River as it approached the runway of Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport in Washington on the evening of the 29th. The incident occurred at 2100 hours local time on the 29th. 2 o'clock GMT on the 30th. The flight was Flight 5342, a Bombardier CRJ700 that can accommodate 78 people. The authorities are actively carrying out rescue work. News highlights former legislator Guo Zhengliang said in an exclusive interview with Zhongqian TV's Green Table that future elections will become a situation of today's Ukraine and tomorrow's Taiwan, indicating that the United States may abandon Taiwan and the risk of war will increase. He pointed out that the Kuomintang has changed its fortunes, and the Blue and White Alliance may change the political landscape. Lai King, chairman of the Democratic Progressive Party, will be unable to deal with it and can only do nothing. Guo Zhengliang predicted that Taiwan will face a dilemma similar to that of Ukraine. The Democratic Progressive Party will have difficulty responding to China's challenges, and Lai King's anxiety will intensify. News highlights the Kaohsiung mayoral election has begun in advance. 5 people from the Democratic Progressive Party have expressed their intention to run in the primary election, including legislators Lin Dehua, Su Zhizhe, Chu Yiying, Lai Rulong, and former Labor Minister Su Mingchun. Former legislator Cai Biru revealed on the Zhongqian political commentary program that hearing Kaohsiung people say that Lin Dehua is the strongest candidate made her laugh out loud, thinking that Lin is a lone bird, but she also admitted that Lin is not inferior to Chen Tingfei in local service. The competition in Kaohsiung is fierce. Various candidates have appeared on the boards, and the final candidate is still difficult to predict. News highlights when President Lai Ching-te attended the Dharma Drum Mountain Bell Ringing and Prayer event last night. He expressed his hope for harmony between the government and the public and social unity, and prayed for peace and stability for Taiwan and the world. Today, New Taipei City Mayor Hou Yuyi responded to President Lai's remarks while praying at a temple during the New Year, pointing out that the ruling party should match its words with deeds, and cannot call for harmony on the one hand and launch hate-based mobilizations such as recall on the other. He emphasized that politicians should learn to respect each other and called for strengthening listening and communication to reduce confrontation and conflict and work together for Taiwan's unity and progress. News highlights Lutnick, U.S. President Trump's nominee for Secretary of Commerce, said at a hearing today that he will review subsidies for U.S. semiconductor manufacturing and emphasized bringing the supply chain back to the United States to reduce dependence on Taiwan and ensure national security. He mentioned that these subsidies are an important basis for the return of the U.S. semiconductor manufacturing industry. The Biden administration has provided large-scale funding to TSMC under the CHIP Act to support its semiconductor production in the United States. Trump criticized this and advocated promoting domestic manufacturing through tariffs rather than subsidies. News highlights Taiwan Yamaha Motorcycles recently announced that due to safety concerns in the front brake calipers of some vehicles, it will recall 81,892 motorcycles for free maintenance. The problem stems from the fact that the front brake caliper may be installed incorrectly, resulting in a decrease in braking force, which may affect driving safety in the most serious case. Starting from mid-March, car owners will receive a special registration letter and can contact local dealers to make an appointment for free inspection and repair services. If you have any questions, you can call the customer service hotline 0809-080-991. News highlights after an inventory conducted by the Ministry of Labor, it was found that approximately 26,000 companies in Taiwan no longer have workers under the old system. The total amount of special retirement system accounts owned by these companies is as high as 10.5 billion yuan. The Ministry of Labor calls on employers to apply to various counties and municipalities for settlement as soon as possible and get these funds back. The pension funds in these special accounts belong to the employer. If the company no longer has old-time workers or has gone out of business, the employer can apply for settlement and receive the amount in the account. On average, each employer can receive about NT $400,000. News highlights fires caused by firecrackers unfortunately occurred during the Chinese New Year. Fire accidents occurred one after another on Heping Island in Keelung and in East Taiwan. A car fire incident occurred on Heping Island in Keelung last night. It was suspected that someone set off firecrackers. 2 cars were engulfed in flames. The car owner said that the car caught fire shortly after hearing the sound of firecrackers. On the other hand, a fire alarm caused by firecrackers also broke out in Taitung City. It was suspected that firecrackers flew into the iron covering of a house and ignited the fire. Even though there were no casualties, the celebratory atmosphere of setting off firecrackers during the New Year prompted firefighters to remind the public to pay attention to safety and avoid accidentally starting a fire. News highlights a violent incident occurred at a chain massage parlor on Xinchen North Road in Taipei City. On the night of New Year's Day, 3 men planned to go into the store to make purchases, but were told that they had to wait because they had no reservations. Dissatisfied with the clerk's attitude, they returned to the car to retrieve the bats and smashed the store's facilities, including the counter and glass door, causing serious damage to the store. After receiving the report, the police quickly tracked and arrested the man involved on the 30th. They were charged under the criminal code, including damage, intimidation, and disorderly conduct. The store said it would carry out renovations after the New Year and stressed that this type of violence was unacceptable. News highlights Zhao Lucy shared her anti-depression experience on Weibo on the first day of the New Year. She admitted that she had realized her hair color dream for 10 years and regarded this as a breakthrough in the New Year. She emphasized that depression is a debt collector's friend. During the treatment process, it relieves emotions by creating endorphins and stimulating serotonin, and supports each other's recovery with friends. She called on society to pay more attention to mental health and believed that emotions should be tolerated and understood, which is the most important way to love yourself. News highlights the South Korean documentary In the Name of God, The Betrayal of Faith exposed the dark side of the religious cult and other cults, attracting global attention. This film also resurfaced the unsolved cult cases in the variety show SS501 SOS hosted by SS501 17 years ago. In the show, the host traces the mysterious death of a young girl, discovers that she still sent red emails after her death, and eventually reveals that she changed her name after escaping from the cult and engaged in paid dating. News highlights Hollywood director Liu Besson once filmed Lucy in Taiwan and left a deep impression on Taiwan. Last year, he visited Taiwan for the second time. He said that the most beautiful scenery in Taiwan is the people, and praised the professionalism and kindness of the Taiwanese team. He was particularly surprised by Taiwan's public security. He shared that bicycles were not stolen in Taiwan and was deeply impressed by Taiwan's diverse attractions. He even recommended that the story background of the movie Taipei Chase be changed to Taipei to show his appreciation for Taiwan. Taiwan's unique emotions. News highlights Wu Qilong and Liu Shixi's marriage has been subject to frequent changes recently. Especially in their Weibo New Year greeting posts, it was shown that they celebrated the New Year in different places, marked in Taiwan and Heilongjiang respectively, which has once again attracted the attention of the outside world to the rumors of their marriage change. In addition, mainland media reported that the couple jointly held shares had been cancelled, and Wu Qilong had no relevant mainland companies under his name. These details attracted media attention. News highlights recently, the Blue Camp countered the Democratic Progressive Party's general recall movement and launched a recall action against 2 DPP legislators, namely Wu Saiyao of Shilinbaidu and Wu Pei of Zhongshan Wanhua. In addition, citizen groups also launched a recall operation in Kaohsiung, targeting Green Committee members Su Zhizha and Wang Ji. The latest progress in these actions shows that letters of intent exceeding the necessary threshold have been received, and a formal letter of signature is planned to be submitted after the year, which strongly reflects the public's dissatisfaction with the DPP. These recall actions are seen as the Blue Camp's response to the DPP's recall, and they are trying to prevent the so-called evil strikes through counterattacks. News highlights U.S. Commerce Secretary nominee Lutnick said at the hearing that he planned to bring semiconductor manufacturing back to the United States and criticized TSMC for taking away the semiconductor industry from the United States. He emphasized his support for the chip law, but still needs to study whether to implement the subsidy contract. Although Trump criticized the bill as a waste of money, it actually originated from the Trump administration and led to TSMC building factories in the United States. News highlights Yu Chengqing and Yunanjing's 23-year-old son Yuan Li, Little Harry, recently shared a video of New Year greetings with his father on the social media. While teaching, Little Harry reminded his father not to look bad and asked him to maintain the New Year's joy, which made people see the tacit understanding between father and son in Harlem's doting expression. The video attracted 8,000 views in just 2 hours, and netizens left messages praising the cuteness of the father-son interaction. Little Harry also talked about in the show that even though his parents were divorced, they still gave him a lot of love,